Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today we're jumping straight into a really interesting one, a name that's seen a lot of action lately in the Chinese new energy vehicle space, Li Auto. We've got quite a bit of information here, financial, strategy stuff, technical charts, and we're going to sift through it all to tackle one key question for you. Is now a good time to buy Li Auto? And hey, if you find this analysis useful, please do subscribe, like the video, and drop a comment. Seriously, if there's another company you'd like us to look at, just let us know in the comments below.
Exactly. We're really aiming to go beyond just the headlines here. Our goal is to pull together all this data, or fundamentals, technicals, market mood, everything, to give you a clear picture of where the stock stands right now and, well, where it might be heading in this super competitive market.
Okay, let's start with the fundamentals, the money side of things. Because the financial story is kind of split, isn't it? And that's where the recent drama really started. If you look at the last 12 months, revenue growth looks really strong. Li Auto brought in, CNY, $144.46 billion. It's about $19.8 billion US dollars.
Yep, nearly $20 billion, and that's up 16.6% year over year. Solid top-line growth.
That sounds great on the surface.
It shows real demand, no question. They're moving cars, even in a tough environment. But and this is the big but. This is the paradox that have got investors worried. While revenue was climbing, the profit, the bottom line, actually fell off a cliff.
Yeah, fell off a cliff. Feels right. Net income was CNY 8.03 billion, or $1.1 billion. But that figure is down 31.4% from the year before. How does that happen? How do you sell way more cars but make way less money? It feels broken somehow.
Well, there are two main reasons, and they really tell the story of the strategic shift we need to talk about. First, margin compression. Basically, more competition, price wars maybe meant they couldn't charge as much or had to offer deals. Second, and this is probably the bigger piece, operating expenses, OPEX went way up.
OPEX, okay.
Yeah, Li Auto is pouring money into R&D and manufacturing right now. They're in this really intense, costly phase of trying to shift their lineup towards pure battery electric vehicles, BEVs.
So the profit drop isn't just bad management, it's partly an investment cost for this big strategic pivot.
That's the argument, yes. It's an investment in the future lineup.
But if they're spending so much now and cutting prices potentially, does that mean future profits are also at risk? Can we trust them to get costs under control?
That's the million-dollar question the market's grappling with. But look at their overall financial health for some reassurance. Even with that big profit drop, Li Auto is still making positive operating profit. Their trailing PE ratio is around 24.
Which is pretty low for a high-growth EV company, right?
Exactly, especially in China. Staying in the black operationally while scaling up aggressively, that's actually quite rare. It suggests the market might see these high costs as, temporary growing pains linked to capturing market share, not a permanent problem.
And what about their ability to weather storms if this transition drags on?
They look pretty resilient on paper. Their market cap is around $25.8 billion, sure, but more importantly, they consistently generate positive cash flow from operations. That's crucial for a manufacturer.
Cash flow is king.
Always. And their liquidity looks good too. The current ratio is over 1.5. That means they have enough readily available assets to cover their short-term debts. They seem well funded for the expansion.
Okay, so the balance sheet provides some cushion. Now, looking ahead, there's always the next earnings report. Q3 results are coming up when? October 30th?
That's the date, October 30th, 2025.
And what's the general feeling? Does the market expect this profit squeeze to continue?
Actually, no. The consensus forecast is for a rebound. Analysts are generally expecting both revenue and margins to improve in Q3. They're looking for signs that the investments are starting to pay off, maybe some efficiencies kicking in, and early sales from the new BEVs helping out.
So that October 30th date is shaping up to be pretty important, a potential catalyst if they meet or beat those expectations.
A very big one. It's the market's first real check-in on whether this expensive strategy pivot is actually working.
All right, let's dig into that strategy. The balance sheet seems okay, but that profit drop in the summer sales figures, something clearly shifted. Before all this BEV push, what was Li Auto's, special sauce, their advantage?
They were really smart. They dominated the premium EREV segment, extended range electric vehicles. Think models like the L7, L8, L9. Their genius was tackling range anxiety head-on. You got the EV feel, but with a small gas generator as backup. No fear of running out of juice.
So they weren't just selling a car, they were selling Peace of mind,
Ugh.
range confidence.
Exactly. And it worked brilliantly for years. They built a strong brand and captured major market share in that premium EREV niche in China.
Okay, so they had a winning formula. What went wrong this summer? Why the sudden pressure?
Well, the market didn't stand still. Pure EV tech got better, charging infrastructure improved, and crucially, competitors launched some really strong pure EV models, often aggressively priced. The pressure just mounted, and this past summer, it was a real crunch time for Li Auto.
Crunch time, how?
Sales actually contracted for 3 months straight, and August was brutal. Deliveries were down almost 41% compared to the previous year.
Wow, 41% down year on year. That's huge.
It was a massive red flag. It screamed that just leading in ERVs wasn't enough anymore. The market was shifting faster, the price wars were intense.
Okay, a 40% drop would definitely force some quick thinking. So they pivoted hard towards BEVs. How did that roll out?
Very quickly, maybe even a bit frantically. It shows they can move fast, but also highlights the risks. They launched their first big pure EV, the Li i8 SUV, back in July. 6 seats, all electric.
And how did that go?
Honestly, it kind of flopped. The market reaction was pretty lukewarm, seemed like it wasn't quite the right fit, or maybe the price was off, and competitors just had better offerings at that moment.
Ouch. So their first big BEV step was a stumble.
A definite stumble. They had to react almost immediately, cutting prices, simplifying the options basically within weeks of launch.
That's fast. Agile, I guess, but also shows they maybe didn't nail the long strategy.
Exactly. It shows agility, sure, but also execution risk. They were clearly learning the BEV market on the fly, and it was a costly lesson with the i8.
But then came the Li i6. Did they learn from the i8 mistake?
It absolutely looks like it. The Li i6 launched September 26th. It's a 5-seat BEV SUV, importantly priced much more aggressively, about 26% cheaper than the i8 started.
Yeah, the market reaction this time.
Totally different. Phenomenal. Reports say they got over 20,000 firm orders within just hours.
20,000 orders in hours. Okay, that's a hit.
A huge hit. They also threw in some attractive launch promotions, like a 35,000 yuan value package, which definitely helps seal the deal for many buyers.
So that i6 success must have completely changed the mood around the stock.
Instantly. It signaled that maybe, just maybe, Li Auto had found the right formula for the pure EV market. It wasn't just about selling one car model, it was validation.
Validation that all that money they poured into R&D and retooling, the spending that hurt profits earlier, might actually pay off.
Precisely. The i6 success story started to counteract the negativity from the summer sales slump. It suggested the big strategic pivot wasn't just talk.
Okay, strategy shift seems underway, maybe successfully now with the i6. Let's talk timing for investors thinking about buying. Where's the stock price now, and what are the charts saying?
Right, as of late September, the stock's hovering around $25.65. Technically, it's in a potentially interesting spot. It's trading just a tiny bit above its 50-day moving average, which is $25.47, and it's right near its 200-day moving average, which is $25.82.
Okay, for people who aren't chart gurus, why does sitting near both those moving averages matter?
Well, consolidating around those key long-term averages after a volatile period often suggests the price is finding a level of stability. It implies the market might have digested the bad news from the summer, and the selling pressure is easing. It potentially forms a base, a floor for the price.
A base camp for a potential climb. What about momentum? Is there energy building for a move up?
The indicators are looking constructive, yeah. The RSI, the Relative Strength Index, over 14 days is around 41.
And 41 is?
It's pretty neutral, maybe slightly leaning towards oversold territory, but definitely not overbought. That means there's room for the price to run higher on good news, like strong earnings, without immediately looking stretched.
Okay, room to move. Anything else?
The MCD indicator, another momentum gauge, has just turned positive, sitting at 0.15. It suggests that upward momentum might be trying to resume after the recent dip. It kind of confirms that base idea.
So potential base forming, momentum may be turning positive. What are analysts thinking short term? Price targets.
Based on this setup and the i6 launch, quite a few models are pointing towards a range of maybe $29 to $32 by December. That's capturing the potential Q3 earnings boost and the initial i6 impact.
And longer term, say 12 months out?
If they execute well on the BAV strategy, the consensus average target is significantly higher, more in the $45 to $47 range. Big potential upside there, but execution is key.
Right, it all hinges on things happening. What are the key dates or events we need to watch in the next, say, 3 months?
Yeah.
The triggers.
Okay, 3 big ones stand out. First, we mentioned it, but it's the most concrete. October 30th, the Q3 earnings release. That needs to confirm the expected rebound.
Number one,
Yeah.
Q3 earnings. Got it.
Second, there's a persistent rumor, still unconfirmed, mind you, about a possible unveiling of a new flagship pure EV SUV platform later in October.
Ah, another big BEV statement.
Exactly. If that happens, it would be a major signal about their long-term BEV ambitions, aiming beyond just the i6 segment.
Okay, potential platform reveal. And third?
Third is policy. Always watch policy in China. There's some speculation the government might extend or maybe even expand the NEV, new energy vehicle incentives, before the end of the year.
And that would lift the whole sector.
It could provide a nice tailwind for everyone, including Li Auto, boosting demand right when they're ramping up the i6.
And it seems like the bigger investors, the institutions, are holding steady, and retail investors are getting more optimistic.
Yeah, institutional holdings seem stable, maybe even some increases. And retail sentiment has definitely picked up, especially looking ahead to those Q3 numbers. People are positioning for that potential rebound.
Okay, sounds positive, but we always need the flip side. Let's talk risks. This is still the Chinese EV market, still a company in transition. What could go wrong?
Absolutely critical to weigh the risks. First, company-specific stuff. Execution risk is number one. We saw the stumble with the i8, any delays launching future BEVs, or crucially, any problems scaling up production of the super important i6, that could really hurt sentiment quickly.
So can they actually build enough i6s fast enough?
That's a key question. And related to that is margin pressure. Will they have to keep offering big discounts like that 35,000 yuan package to move cars? If those kinds of promotions become permanent, it will keep squeezing profits, even if sales volume is high.
Okay, execution and margins. What about broader risks? Things outside their control.
Definitely sector and macro risks. The Chinese economy? If consumer spending slows down significantly, that hits car sales, even EVs. And the whole EV sector globally can be volatile. If there's a big sell-off in growth stocks or tech, Li Auto will likely get dragged down too, regardless of its own performance.
Right. Can't ignore the bigger picture. So, pulling it all together, the EREV leadership they had, the successful i6 launch showing they can pivot, the technicals looking better, the upcoming catalysts, versus the execution risks, margin pressure, and macro concerns. What's the final take from all this analysis?
Weighing it all up, the overall view leans bullish. Maybe an 8.5 out of 10, something like that. The reasoning is that you've got this combination of still solid fundamentals. Remember that revenue growth and positive cash flow paired with a clear path of potential positive news flow in the near term, designed to change that negative summer story.
So the costly transition seems to be working, or at least the market believes it might be starting to work with the i6.
Exactly. The pivot looks credible now, which makes the stock potentially interesting for different types of investors. Well, for shorter-term traders, you've got those clear catalysts between now and December, the earnings, maybe the platform news, the i6 ramp-up. And for longer-term investors, if you believe in the China EV growth story and think Li Auto can maintain its brand strength as it transitions to BEVs, then the current price might look attractive for capturing that multi-year growth.
So wrapping it up for someone wondering about buying now, it really boils down to believing in that BEV pivot, right? With the i6 success as the key evidence so far, and that upcoming Q3 earnings report as the next big checkpoint.
That's the crux of it.
Yeah.
And here's something to really think about as you watch this unfold. Management has thrown out a really ambitious target for the Li i6, 9,000 to 10,000 units per month by the end of this year. Remember how badly that 40% year-on-year sales drop spooked everyone over the summer?
Yeah, that was ugly.
So the October delivery numbers will be the first real test after the big i6 launch hype. Ask yourself, what kind of delivery number for October would it take to convince you, personally, that the i6 momentum is real, powerful enough to truly reverse that summer slump and justify the optimism building back into the stock?
That's the number to watch?
Yeah.
What does that first real post-launch report show? Fascinating question. Okay, that's our look at Li Auto. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on those delivery numbers and the Q3 results. Thanks for tuning in.